It's been 6 minutes since since I went live. And I don't want to fuck around today. So, like, y'all just want to jump into the game? Y'all just want to start the game? It is technically morning where Fruity is. These are facts. Make sure that the game sound is on. It is on. Hi, Dougie. Hi, Dougie. How's it going, friend? How are you doing? How is everyone? I know, like, I'm just kind of, like, jumping right into video game time. Forgot we were super stinky. But howdy, friends. Nem, welcome in. Howdy. Howdy do. That is a statue? Yeah, we're getting right into it. We're gonna just jump in. We're gonna do the thing. Hello, ma'am? Howdy doody. How's it all going? How's everyone hanging? How are things? What is going on? We're back with Deadly Premonition. We are a stinky lad. There's a big ol' I'm not gonna. It's mine. It's my panini.
Hello, Olivia. Do you like art?
Looks very quiet.
Yes, I do. Well, I mean...
Game sound okay?
I like trees.
Trees.
I asked if you liked
Okay.
art.
Ah, but I see because these are all tree paintings.
Oh.
Do you come here often then?
Well, no. Just sometimes. I'm sorry, I will need to get back to the diner.
We be stinky because we haven't showered. Also, I'll get you a close-up of that beard.
She said trees.
It's a good beard.
Not paintings of trees. She doesn't need to come here to see trees. There's tons of trees outside.
Oh, okay. We're just hopping right into the weirdness right now, and that's fine. What you doing, Olivia? Hey, you dropped a bunch of stuff, Olivia. Do you want to see my beard? My good, beautiful beard? It's coming in nicely. We're just gonna... Hey, if we could, like, be in focus, that'd be cool. Well, it's fine. I mean, Deadly Prem is always weird. We know this about this game. But also, Trees of Twilight. Beautiful painting of 6 trees bathed in a sunset glow. Wow, 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 nice on! It's a good beard. And it's gonna get gooder. Because that's how you say it gets better, right? Well, A, tree at sunset. B, red leaves. C, dancing red butterflies. Said there were 6 trees, right? Pass to the office. Number of red trees. From the special exhibition room. Olivia must have dropped this note. Zach, can we make any sense out of this? Yes? 6 trees. 6 trees. Were they wrong? My experience with being gay is that it has gotten gooder. It's at least 5 meters tall. Pretty big for an object art. Pointy branches, razor-sharp leaves. Good taste on the curator's part, greeting us with such a cool and sharp setup. Right, Zach? Right. Right, buddy. Okay, what did this say? Tree at sunset, red leaves, dancing red butterflies. Okay. Where are the other paintings? But yeah, how's everyone doing? How are things going? Are we ready for the wacky wild adventure that is Deadly Premonition? What does that say? It's locked. It's locked. It's locked. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Painting of a forest, delicately drawn, soothes the mind. Good stuff, wouldn't you say, Zach? I guess. I don't know nothing about art. I like what I like. Can we open this door? Probably shouldn't try to get in there. 6 red trees. Can we open this door? That door's... You can't even interact with that door. Pass to the office, number of red trees, from the special exhibition room. Hold on a second. I've been wearing my wrist brace for far too long. It is extremely cold. I would like to take this. Thank you. Yeah, it's extremely cold here right now. It is 0 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 18 degrees Celsius, and can't get warm no matter what I do, which is extremely unfortunate. And it's just making all of my joints hurt more. It's so cold. It is so cold. Normally would not be too much of an issue, but mostly annoyed with how much it makes my body hurt. Painting of a tree with its branches reaching out toward the right looks somewhat unbalanced. No, the branches grow towards the sun, but why did the artist pick this particular tree? Interesting taste. Okay. Right, your bones! Bones are not meant to be this cold. It's cold here. It's locked. Need to unlock this to enter the office. Password is a 3-digit code. Okay. Okay. It's so quiet in game. Just stomps. We're just stomping. The stompiest of lads. I like that we can just run through doors, but also I need the camera to cooperate with us when stomping through doors. Hello? These flies are so distracting. Get that kazoo ready. Get the kazoo ready. Gotta get that kazoo ready. What has this done? What have I done? Butcher flies. Red butterflies frolicking. Large tree and red butterflies. Almost looks as if it's burning. How many butterflies, though? Nothing in there. Boop. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Aside from finding smoked salmon in a weird locker and being cold, how's it going for everybody? This place has nothing in it. Nothing exists here. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Cold basement salmon. Large tree and red butterflies. How many butterflies? Tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's far too many on there. No, I wasn't done looking! I wasn't done looking! I don't know. Maybe York will know. Just by default. We'll, Sad. But you gotta get up. Eventually. No rush, though. Even with your phone being low on battery, just take all the blankets with you. That works, right? What is this? Good. Good. I'm glad your headache is gone. What? Why are we shaking our head? I can't leave now. You could. You just refuse to. What is this? Autumn Leaves. A beautiful painting depicting 4 trees in their reddish splendor. 6, 4, big number. Painting used to be displayed here. The title plate reads "Red Butterflies Frolicking," though the painting itself is nowhere to be seen. Okay, but we have seen it. Consider it has been seen. Everyone's waking up.
I'm awake now.
Good morning, Allie. Also, 15 months. 15 months. Months? 15. Your phone might need charging, but are you finished charging? Thank you, Allie, for the sub. I figured me being like, "Wow, 15 months was it," but I also needed to come back and restate that. Also, Arcade, hi, how's it going? How are my friends? 649? Was that it? No.
Zach, something is still missing. We need more clues.
Big house. Big house. I think I could maybe just type in a bunch of random numbers. But also, why do that? How's it going, Arcade? How are you doing? How are things? Wake up. Wake up, Allie. Allie, it's time to wake up. You gotta get up. It's time to do things. Everybody wake up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think the code is 645? It's time to wake up. No more naps. Gotta be up and at 'em. I don't want to say functioning because sometimes that's not how it goes. I know up is bad, but also listen. 6, 4, 5 was what I wanted to try.
Zach, something is still missing. We need more clues.
We don't. We are just going to... We're just gonna do this. It's the number of trees, isn't it? So it should be 1 because it's a single tree. There it is. We've done it. It took me a second, but I figured it out. Sometimes I can be intelligent. When you hate being up, but also hate being in bed, you gotta kind of make up your mind eventually about what you want to do. We are so stinky, and I still just want to...
Like I said, there's no point in you having this. I can put it to far better use. I'm taking it with me, okay?
That's fine by me then, as you wish.
I haven't had a nap, but I'm also just... about
The
everything
FBI
today.
agent, right? Just wait a moment, please. I'll be right with you.
We're just gonna stand here the whole time like this.
So there's no way you could have been at the scene of the crime.
That's right. I was drinking at the bar with Nick until early morning.
Ma'am.
I'm sure if you ask him about it, he'll say the same.
Fucking fly! Ah!
Very well. I'll be sure to do that. One other thing. That argument with Carol just now.
She's always like that. She thinks of me as an enemy, always bickering at what I say.
Oh,
Is there any
my
reason
God.
for that?
Perhaps because
That
someone
was
she
beautiful.
liked ended up with me in my bed.
That would explain it. Yes. If I may be so bold,
Lady Diana
who
the
was the lucky
fly.
man?
Oh, I sleep with anyone I
It's
wish.
the fly. Oh,
Anyone I prefer to sleep with.
what is happening?
I guess
Why
she
is
had
this
her eye on
conversation
one of them,
happening? I was
but
too
I don't
distracted
know
by
who
the
it was
flies.
Exactly. I could sleep with you, if you like.
No,
I'm
thank
flattered
you.
by your offer, but I don't think that would be appropriate.
What?
You're exactly the kind of woman a man in my job should never get involved with.
Isn't that a shame, darling?
I just wanted to watch the fly be in the screen the whole time. Oh
I'll be
no!
frank. Right now, you are not a suspect.
Not the
But both Zach and I are
flies!
certainly feeling shaky about you.
If you want to remain in
Ah!
the clear, just watch yourself from now
Leave
on.
the flies out of
You
it.
don't know, do you? Artists and art lovers, we love a good thrill.
Okay. I don't
you for your
trust this, ma'am.
I have nothing further to ask you at the moment. Goodbye.
if sleeping will happen, please make sure that York is bathed beforehand. Please. Oh my god, that was very good. That was very good. Alright. Well, that was wild. Look, it's the Pickles brand can of pickles. Would anyone like Water brand water with their can of the Pickles brand pickles? Is that
I
all
had
that
a
was going
chat
on
with
in there?
Diane. She said she was at the bar drinking with Nick at the time.
Was
of the
that
murder.
it?
We need to confirm her story. Let's talk to Nick at the diner.
Very well, Agent Morgan. I have to head back to the department and clear up some paperwork. Go with Emily to the AMG diner.
Okay.
Dougie.
I'll show you the way. The
If it makes it
diner's
any
open from
better,
9
you're
to
my favorite
2100.
worm. My favorite normal worm.
Just as we suspected, Zach. Diane is the key to this case. I have a feeling she will lead us right to the
Only
criminal.
drink water brand water. I only drink Big Juice brand water, as we all know. Who dat? Oh, it's man.
Mason.
FK.
Looks like the
In the
show
art
has just
building.
begun, and it has an all-star cast.
Okay. Bring back calling people worms. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. I'll call anyone a worm. Let's go. What am I doing? What do I want to do? I kind of want to go into town. I don't want to go back in there. No, I was just... No, it's nothing. Never mind. I can do a hydrate. Oh, I just skipped through that, but that's okay. We got Big Juice here. I just cleaned Big Juice today. It's great. No, I would like it if we all remained clean. It's okay to be a little stinky every once in a while. But also... Get rid of the flies. We love the flies. Thank you, Ellie, for the hydrate, by the way. Oh no.
Emily, do you know a man named Forrest Kaysen?
Kaysen? Yes, I know him. The sapling salesman, right? He always
That's
uses
just like
strange
a
comparisons
thing
when he
that we
talks.
know
I'd like to know
about.
more about him. What does he do when he comes to town?
He
He's a
sells
salesman,
saplings.
So I guess he sells things. Maybe he comes on vacation. We
Domo.
haven't seen many tourists recently, but he comes pretty often.
Is that all?
Well, now that you mention it, he seems quite friendly with the Ingrams, with Isaac and Isaiah. Maybe you
Six
should
foot
ask
smell
them
limit,
about
not
Kaysen.
12-foot biohazard.
Okay, I will.
Sorry, I'm like trying to get comfy in my chair again. Oh god. We need to find a place to, change clothes. This is the wrong way, isn't it? Guess I could check our very bad map, because it does exist, but not in the way that we want it to. Oh, it does. It all just kind of loops around. Is this Emily's house? White Spruce Farm. Sigourney's house. Usha's house. A random weird cul-de-sac. Becky's house. Not a fishing spot. I wish I could zoom out more. Not in... You got a farm in this. Why didn't you tell us you were a farmer? Fruity, you gotta tell us that you're a farmer. Come on. This might be the best way to go? Darius Inc. Sanders Junkyard. Fruity's a farmer. Sweary 65. Emily's house. Juniper Farm. Please stop zooming in. This map is so bad. Honestly, though. Harry's Mansion. Velvet Falls. There's a bone there. I want... Not all farms can be winners. Cope's Tunnel. I did this and it still hasn't cleared out, and that bothers me somewhat. Also, Book Mountain. Nick's house. Anna's house. Okay, that's... Is there a way? I want to put a thing here. Oh, get out of here. Okay, whatever. If I go this way, past the bridge, will it really... I hate that. Okay. I need to turn around.
Emily, don't you find it a bit suffocating to be around George so much?
Well, we aren't always together. And anyway, I've gotten used to him.
Impressive.
Have you now?
Women are very down.
No, it's not like that, actually. I mean, George is hard-headed, sure, but he's also a hard-working man. That's why the townsfolk trust him so much.
The very
Oh my God,
epitome of a
Kayshurrr!
rural sheriff.
That's right, he
Kayshurrr!
isn't some hotshot FBI agent. This place isn't like the city. Everyone knows everyone else.
What about
Car's
you,
bad.
Were you too close?
No, not close, really. I don't seem to have much in common with teenagers nowadays.
Corpse
All they
tunnel.
talk about are boys, clothes, and accessories. I
It
don't
is
have much
bad.
interest in any of those things.
There is a gap between a teenager and being in your 20s.
Everyone's different, that's all. Me and you, too.
Zach, I'm not liking the way this conversation is heading. Let's concentrate on driving instead.
Okay. Whatever you say, York. Honestly, when Keith stopped snapping, I got extremely uncomfy because he's always snapping. He must always snap. Goodness gracious. I need to find that bridge and I need to get into town ASAP because I need more gas. So our car can go toot 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 toot. You know how it goes. You really can until your car decides to explode. I barely touch the analog stick to do turns and it just like flips me around and I don't like that. I would like to just do a gentle turn instead of throwing the car into a ditch. The gas mileage on this vehicle is so bad. So bad. And there's not nearly enough gas stations around to, like, make it worthwhile. But you have to drive because everything is so far away. Also, this is where I want to turn. This is the turn. This is the turn. This is... We've done it. We have done it and we have not crashed. And that's extremely exciting. I don't think... Oh. Oh. I don't think there's a gas station here. There are 1 gas stations. We crashed a little bit, but not because of the turn. It's because I stopped paying attention because I got so excited about doing a turn so good. I do want to find Anna's house because I would like to do Hot Dog Lady's quest. Crashed there, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. Please. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Let's get out here. I did not die. We did not die. We've done it so good. Jelly Premonition
Is
Tokyo
there
Drift.
something you want to check out?
Yes.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter. I can see you won't be rushed. I'm gonna go ahead, okay?
Okay, that would be
Okay,
fine.
bye.
The diner is open from 9 to 2100. Don't keep me waiting too long, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna keep you waiting. Oh, I'm gonna keep you waiting. She's somewhere. Don't put that away. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna keep out our weapon now. Here? Anna's house. What is this? Why is it pink? Wait, that's a place where I can sleep, isn't it? Also, what is this? Is that dog? I think that's dog. I think that's dog. Can we... Oh god. Not me threatening to hit people. I would like... Yeah, Anna's house is to the left. That's where Hot Dog Lady is. But there was that pink house. I think I can sleep there. And if I can sleep there, that means we can change outfits. Which means we can wear a pink outfit. Which is very, very exciting. We will have to get rid of the flies for a short amount of time. But that's okay. We can recollect the flies. It's pink suit time. Hopefully. I don't understand. I can change at the police station, right? A pink house is haunted. We're not allowed into the pink house. That's Anna's house. Police station. Hello? Police station. Slash! Will Thomas feed me? Is it a time at which Thomas can feed me? Thomas, give me food. And also let me change my stinky suit. Consider. Food time. I think we're like pretty okay on food. I don't think our hunger is like too bad at the moment, but we might as well fix it. Yeah, we are full up. But also, Thomas! Thomas! Hello? is our boy? We okay on Thomas cutscenes, though? Yes? I mean, we could always do with more Thomas. Always more Thomas. Never enough Thomas. Where is our boy? Thomas, where are you? Also, where do I change? Where, Thomas? Thomas, where? Where, Thomas? Thomas. Where, Thomas? Thomas. Where, Thomas? Do, Thomas. Thomas. We need more squirrel facts. I bet Thomas would like Squirrel Stapler. Get lots of good squirrel facts in that. It's a good song. I'm glad you liked my song. That's my Where's Thomas song. It's a shame Sam's not here. Honestly though, where is Thomas? Locker room? Can I change in here? Maybe you're right. Maybe Thomas wouldn't like Squirrel Stapler, but I love Squirrel Stapler. Pink Suit has heart on the ties. Pink Suit has heart on the ties. Look at our mans. 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 York looks so sharp. Office? Thomas, are you in the office? We will look more fly later. These are facts. You're not Thomas. Where is Thomas? Where is literally anyone? Yeah, everyone's gone. Time for you to get a watch. It's like noon or something. I can't check the time in here. He's not at the pink house. Don't let him be at the pink house. I can't get comfy right now. It should be food time. It 100% should be food time. You should... Time for you to get a watch. A Michael J. watch. Very good. Yeah, it's 12:06. I am sad. Whatever. I don't want to see Thomas anyway. Where is Thomas's house, actually? Actually, listen. Where is Thomas's house? Where does Thomas live? Book Mountain Bank. That's the sheriff's department. Nope. Back out. That's Brian's house. Anna's house. Nick's house. How am I a liar? Thomas's house. No, I remember what I've said now. That makes me a liar. You're right. I do want to see Thomas, but clearly Thomas doesn't want to see me. Lamia has awoken from a slumber. I do want to see Thomas, but Thomas is being a butthole. Thomas, please. She's been sleeping all day. She's got the antibiotic sleepies. Is this the right way? I think it is. Oh, hi Bunno. It's pink suit. We got it. I told y'all I was gonna get the pink suit as soon as I could. It was just a matter of the pink suit not wanting to be got. But how's it going, buddy? How are you doing? Pink suit, pink suit, pink suit, pink suit, pink suit, pink suit, pink suit. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna keep, like, wiggling and sitting weird and just moving around a ton. Because existence is pain right now. My god. It needs to not be so cold. Just a little peachy. Just a tiny little peachy. Good fancy chair. It's a good fancy chair. Genuinely though, is this the right direction? Yes, yes it is. There's the apartment building that Thomas lives in. He's not gonna be home and it's gonna be tragic. I just pulled out a weapon. York, I'm gonna need you to put that away for me. Please and thank you. I will never, ever stop taking out a weapon. Also, that fancy chair that, like, moves into, like, 20 different positions would be amazing. But I do got this fancy chair. Which is a great fancy chair, and we do love it. Wait, what is this? Bullets! I think just no matter how I sit or move or do anything, it's just gonna... I'm just gonna be uncomfy. Thomas, I need food. Hey, Thomas, do you want to get me some food? But I am 911. Hello? Potato. Ooh, hiccups. Whose house is this? Yes, 911. I'm hungry? Whose house? Our house in the middle of Green Vale. Our house. Our house in the middle of our house. Our house. That's a lot of house. I'm gonna look into Thomas's... I have to watch how I say this. I'm gonna look into Thomas's house, but also Thomas's biscuit. Whose house? Whose house? Our house? In the middle of our Thomas? Thomas. Get that house out of you. I don't think you should have a house in you, Thomas. Thomas, listen! Don't have a house in you, Thomas! Was that... So... one of those is Thomas's house. Who else lives here? This is not what I want. This is what I want. Thomas, Carol, and Fiona all live here. Where's the other house? Like, Or do Carol and Fiona live together? To be honest, to be Thomas? To be Thomas. Let me be Thomas with you. Tell Mom I said hi. Hi, Mom. Go do your phone call, though, Allie. It's important. Okay. Now that we've tried to find Thomas and can't. Thomas. Oh, right! I sometimes forget that Thomas has an incredibly hot sister. Sir, I don't think your car should be parked here. And I vaguely remember someone mentioning that Thomas lived with his sister. That makes sense. Alright. Understood. Okay. Now we have to run all the way back into town. What a great time. Game, would you like to give us some sound other than York's stomps? The quest for Thomas failed, and I'm very upset about it. I'm sure Thomas is busy doing other things. Hello? Headphones are haunted. Thought I heard someone, like, laugh. In my right ear, specifically? Headphones are haunted. It's fine. But no, why you laughing in my ear? It was probably Zach. Actually, that makes sense. Ha ha ha. Could do the diner right now. Or we got like 9 hours before the diner closes. Let's go to Anna's house. Gotta go talk to Hot Dog Lady. You know, sometimes you just gotta go wipe your face, clean your tears with a hot dog. Just wanted to make sure I was going the right direction. I don't think this is it. I think this is the incorrect house. In theory. I think we have tested that, haven't we? We did test behind the counter. Where is this the house? Hello? No, it's closed. We can't go in here. Can we go in here, though? Consider, game, letting me in. That's not the house. That's the house. It does say it's open, though. Hot Dog Lady. Quest delivery for Hot Dog Lady. Whoa, Richard! I cannot speak to Richard. Richard is leaving. Give me that stabilizer. Dick, where's Hot Dog Lady? Right? Ma'am. She's not a hot dog woman anymore.
Where are you going? Don't leave me.
There were hints that Richard and Anna's mom were kind of a thing. I did got I'm leaving.
My dear Anna.
Zach, let's do this later. I don't think we'll get anything out of her like this.
What do you mean, let's do this later? No, I need to do this now.
I'd like to ask you some questions about Anna.
Anna. Oh.
Okay, hold on.
Why did she have to die?
I need...
She was so happy. So full
I'm
of
just gonna
life,
cover up.
Anna.
That's what we're
She
gonna do.
loved
I don't
that
want to
dress in
actually
the
go
picture
get
so much.
a hoodie or anything.
She looked so pretty in it, but now
I'm just gonna
she won't
wrap
be
up in
able to
my
wear it again.
terrible,
Yes,
yet beautiful
that dress.
smiley
I
blanket.
can't find that dress anywhere.
It is Punch
That
case
dress?
case time.
Her dress. Where is it? Without it,
I miss
she
her
looked
having
so
a hot
pretty
dog.
when she wore it for prom. She was the prettiest girl in town that night.
Poncho,
So why did
Poncho,
she?
Keisha.
Where's that dress?
Poncho,
Where?
Poncho, Keisha. I'm gonna find the dress. Don't
I
worry,
don't
ma'am.
think we'll get much more out of her like this. Maybe if
We're
we
gonna-
find the dress and bring it to her, she'll calm down enough to talk.
Poncho, Keisha. I really want that shoe poncho that that Allie pointed out earlier on the Hot Duffel Boyfriend website. Wow, Fruity is just so aggressive at me all of the time. I'm gonna kick you in the spleen. What about that?
One would think you'd find a dress in a closet, but there's too many here. We need to find out what kind of dress we're looking for first.
I'm glad Arcade shares in the love of Shu. Shu is the best. Shu is, fun fact, what kind of started this trend, or was the first character that I noticed my terrible trend of loving characters that are either evil or dead. I guess Hot Full Boyfriend in general sort of started that trend. Because I romanced Shu and Nageki, and it was like, oh. I can see it. Shu is where my love of serial killer doctors definitely came from.
Look, Zach. It's
Fucking
a
love
picture
Shu and I
taken
fucking
during her
love
prom
Reggie.
night. There are no other pictures of Anna in a dress.
Cannot tell you how much I
This
love
blue dress here,
Reggie.
then, must be the one Sally is looking for. She does.
I think
look like a
Arcade has it.
goddess.
I think you have. I think
Sally
you have
was right.
quality taste. Consider.
She sure is pretty.
Consider.
That smile would make any man turn to butter.
No, they're great. I love Hot Full Boyfriends. Good times. Hey, do you want to wipe your face with a hot dog, maybe? Also, why is it so green outside? Ma'am? I mean, we could be turning mans into butter. Also, hi, Smiley. How's it going, friend? How are you doing?
Zach, this is it.
Guess what?
This is
Guess
the same
what?
dress as the one in the prom picture.
Let's take it to Sally.
I have your face on me. Your face is keeping me warm in the 0-degree weather. It's very cold right now. Your game has a case of the greens as well as a case of the purples. Oh my god. Also, I'm thinking about Cemetery Mary on Friday. This coming Friday. Does that work for people? Also, seriously, Smiley, I cannot stress enough how much A, I love this blanket, and B, how cozy and comfy and wonderful it is. It's a good blanket. Gonna get some rainbows in this house. Is she gonna wipe her face with a beer bottle? Because that'd be pretty great, too. Did you find her dress? Either we will start early, or go very, very late, or a mix thereof. I'm gonna see how tired I am by the end of the week, but we will do some Cemetery Mary on
this is
Friday.
The dress. This is honest.
Why is she so wiggly? Why is she so
Anna.
wiggly?
Oh, Anna.
Ma'am?
Anna.
Sally, we found the dress. So
Ma'am!
please tell me more about Anna.
Oh. She was such a good girl. She was the most beautiful girl in town.
She's got a little
with
weird,
pretty
that's
blonde
for
hair.
sure.
Everyone around her just loved her.
On the
Still
night of the
just
murder,
so...
was Anna at home?
Yes, I think so.
You think so?
That day. The day she
so
died.
wiggly.
I stayed over at a friend's place. If
Was it
only I'd
Richards?
been here.
Were you
Anna
in
might
Richard's
not
place?
have gone through.
Where did you stay
Were
that
you
night?
hanging out with Dick?
I was.
Anyway.
Aha. So, in other words, you have no idea what Anna was up to that
Doing
night.
the shepherd
wrong.
shuffle.
She wasn't the kind of girl that would walk around at night. She was always dancing under the sun. Yes, under the pouring sunshine. Like this.
Not demo Dick. It's probably what she calls Richard, though. Let's be real.
Zach, look. A key fell from Anna's dress.
Fucking
Maybe
hell.
we can use this to get into Anna's room.
Sorry, Sally, but we're going to have to take a look in there.
I don't think she minds. It's fine. Completed. Just gonna keep dancing over there. Okay. Oop. Oop. Where did she go? She's over here. Are you... No, you're still just like... I am genuinely upset that she's not just, like, wiping her face with a hot dog anymore, but I'm so glad that we got to experience that at least once. And that clips of that event still exist. It was very good. If you haven't seen it, I'll find it and I'll post it back in the Discord at some point, but just know that Anna's mother was consoling herself with a hot dog to the face, and no, that is not a euphemism. Also, welcome back, Allie. Although I guess she was technically doing that too if she was hanging out with Richard. Let's do the thing. What? Are you pulling your gun out? Oh, okay. I understand.
She was at an age that craves excitement.
I thought he was gonna try and shoot. I've seen this scene, and I thought he was gonna try and shoot the painting.
Doesn't matter what town you're from. Girls will be girls.
I also like how nothing in that
You know,
drawer is,
Zach,
like,
in this wonderful country of ours,
rendered properly,
there are no
except for
good
that
old-fashioned
diary.
towns left. None at all.
All towns are old-fashioned. Though. Listen.
Day 1. Today is the day of the ceremony, and I'm a little nervous about it. Day 2. The first time he used it on me, it was so amazing. So exhilarating. Day 3. He doesn't let anything slip. I'm really worried about Becky. Day 4.
I'm sure Becky's
Delivery
fine.
man Q won't be able to protect
Quint?
Becky. So that's the last page written.
Man Q? Quint?
It's very interesting. You can learn a lot from a diary.
So we have this unnamed he, Becky, and this delivery man Q.
Q.
Zach, this could be more
Delivery
interesting
man
than I
Q,
thought.
I think, is Quint. And Quint is the one who has the tinfoil cowboy hat. Also, look at that beard. Look at that beard. Look at that beard. Look at that beard. Kayshurrr? Kayshurrr? I guess? What if I spelled my name with a Q? Becky with the good hair. Also, Anna. Spicy. Very good. Okay, well I think we've officially done everything that we had done before. Which is exciting. Hey. She does
Anna?
have a hot dog. No, that's still a beer bottle. Oh, Anna, let's go to the diner this weekend. It'll be so much fun. Now smile for me. I mean, it's art, but it's also spicy art. Her beer bottle did vanish when I talked to her. She heard I'm kind of a cop and was like, shit, gotta get rid of this. That's all that was. It's fine. Alright, diner time? Diner time. Diner. Instead of recycling, just eat the glass bottle. Eat it. Just fucking eat it. Kind of. I said what I said. It's kind of spicy. Slightly spicy art. Diner. Let's go. Get me in there. Hi, Sketchy.
Emily,
How's
were
it
you
going?
waiting outside for me?
Should I have
Is
gone
that the
inside and started the 20
Stratopost?
questions?
Well, that would have been fine with me.
Hold on.
Shall we get
I'm gonna
something
let
to
this
eat?
finish and then I'll show it off. You can
Someone
kind of see
should
Smiley's
teach you
eye
how to
over
be
here,
more
though.
considerate.
Oh, God.
And now you want something to eat? I thought we were going to question Nick.
Just...
Welcome, Mr. Agent.
Hi, Olivia. Let me have your special for today. And some fresh coffee.
Our special today is turkey. A turkey and gravy sandwich. Sound good?
Perfect. Emily, you eat something too. We'll be on the FBI.
I
Okay,
see
then.
you.
I'll go all out. I'll have the T-bone steak. I usually can't order it because it's a little too expensive.
I need this cutscene to be done so I can show the shroud.
Mrs. Olivia Cormack, I am here for Mr. Stewart's lunch. If it is ready, I'd thank you much.
Also,
Yes, of course. Just a
also
moment.
donuts. I want a donut. I would like a
Here
donut.
you go. The usual. 1 turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal sandwich.
Ugh.
Sounds like the sinner's sandwich.
This is the
Self-inflicted punishment to atone for past sins. He's setting an example.
Mr. Francis York Morgan. you should
Or maybe
try
he's
this
just got the
wonderful lamb.
munchies.
It's more than a delicious, tasty crunch. So
Oh
says
my
Mr. Stewart.
God. Is the sound going crackly?
No, that's fine. I've just ordered my own lunch.
Travis, I think it's just you, but is the sound going crackly for anyone?
Mr. Francis York Morgan. I, that is, Mr. Stewart's order is delicious, I should mention. And Mr. Nick
I'll do
Cormack
it.
is a genius.
You wanna?
for
Is
creating
this a thing we want to do?
perfection. So says
I hate
Mr.
peanut
Stewart.
butter though.
Still, I have a hunch I might.
Oh, thus far no crackles.
You
which
sure
is
that
great.
sandwich is that good?
You miss crackle.
Mr. Francis York Morgan. Making
It's fine,
decisions
Arcade. Don't worry
based
about
on
it.
Intuitions
It's Mr.
is always
Stewart.
a sign of bad
The
FBI agents.
eccentric
So
capitalist.
says Mr. Stewart.
You're right. I'll give it a try.
I have considered doing a cooking stream, because I do like baking. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna just take a picture of that.
I can't believe it. This is fantastic. It's really good. Olivia, I'm sorry, but can I change my order? I'll have what Harry is having.
Everyone's face! Right, the music on top of it. But yeah, what Allie said, I want to to do a cooking stream at some point, but it's gonna
Nick
have to
and
wait until I
Diane.
potentially have my own
They
kitchen.
hardly make the perfect
I don't want to
couple,
have to
do they?
deal with anyone downstairs.
Is it widely
so.
known that they go drinking together, just the two of them?
To be honest,
So it'll have
I
to wait,
don't
but it is
pay
a thing I
attention
want to
these
do.
days.
Not into local gossip?
Well, when I moved here, I was still in high school, and I kept wearing the same wild clothes from my school in Seattle. I was young back then. And before I knew it, there were rumors all over the school. She'll screw anyone. That's what they said. Totally unfounded, of course. Anyway, after that, I just sort of chose not to really trust gossip.
I get
Hold
where
on,
you're coming
I may be
from.
doing a thing.
I used to dress like a hardcore punk rocker when I was in high school.
No, you didn't. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit.
You? A punk rocker?
Nobody took my side, even when I had good grades. People
Oh,
rejected
my
me just
goodness.
because of what I wore. I was young back then, too.
Even still, I just don't see you as a punk rocker.
And you laugh? Look at you. No makeup on, dressed in uniform, eating a steak for lunch. Okay, back to work. Let's talk to Nick.
Guess what? Guess what? There's a Cinder Sandwich community challenge up. If y'all want me to make and try the Cinder's Sandwich, we'll do it. Oh no, this is not. Oh no. This is fine. Oopsies. Also, not York neck lump. It's fine. I, again, forget. Thank you, Fruity. Thank you, Bono. Thank you, David. Did see behind the kimono. It was a little dangerous. Anyway, now that we've paused, y'all wanna. It's got the good teeth and the good eyeballs. That one's a little smushed, but that's okay. It's the good smiley poncho. The shroud. Arcade Alley, thank you for the contribution to the Sinner Sandwich, I guess. The shoulder eyeballs are very, very important. I could make it worse for everyone so that the blanket is looking at y'all while we stream. Oh. Again, this is my favorite blanket of all time. It's a good blanket. Thank you, Smiley, for making this available to me. Okay, no. The eyes gotta go. The eyes have got to go. Travis and David have the same hat. I'm here to help. Oh, no, okay, no, the eyes gotta come back.
Raiding with a party of 14. Kaysh and the gang welcome
Eyes
you.
gotta come back. Thank you, Angry, for the raid. Here, you can get this. All of this. As a welcome in for friends. Welcome, Raiders. How's everyone doing? Angry, how's it going? Emmy, Hot Sauce, anyone else who potentially came in? Okay, here. Hi, welcome. My name is, for anyone who doesn't know me, we'll just do a quick raid introduction. My name is Kayshurrr. You can call me Kaysh. If you don't know who I am, we got a lot of weird, cursed, terrible, but great things happening going on here. Blurstings upon you. I'm a queer horror and mystery game streamer, and sometimes we get cursed objects, such as my
Oh no, the teeth are strategically placed.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I need to stop looking at it for a second. Hold on. Okay, everything is fine. Lungs, I need you to work, okay? Alright? Holy shit. Anyway, welcome in, Raiders. This is what happens. Holy fuck. Okay, I can make a Kayshurrr pork something or other happen. Holy shit. Anyway, this is my content in a nutshell for the raiders who have come in and are unfamiliar with us. Welcome in. Also, hi Chew. Hi, I see you in there. Great. You have been streaming for a while. You've been watching a stream for a while. If you need to eat up, do a stretch, get some food, get some water, back the fuck up, because what is happening right now over here? Go for it. We will be streaming for at least another little under 2 hours. So we'll be around. It has begun is an accurate description of the wildness that happens in here, but thank you for the follow. I super duper appreciate it. Holy shit. Okay. We are currently playing a game called Deadly Premonition. It's very good. We're enjoying it very much. Everything here is wild and unhinged in all of the best possible ways. Oh my goodness. I do need to take a drink of water because that, like, really the eyeball. But yes, Allie, thank you for getting all those shoutouts out there. But like I said, Raiders, if you need to take a break, we'll be here for a long while if you want to come back and hang out. If not, totally understand. That's all okay. This is an extremely dangerous blanket. Usually I got you. Usually it just stays on my lap so none of us can see it, but I know it's there. Lurking. Waiting. Okay. Thank you, Sam, for the contribution to the Sinner's Sandwich. Also, Angry, thank you for gifting that subscription to Hot Sauce. Yeah, we're already 8% of the way to the Sinner's Sandwich. It's gonna be great. What was it? It was, turkey. Was it peanut butter or jam and cereal? Or was it both? Okay. Turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal. Thank you. It doesn't sound horrific. Of all the weird combinations out there, not the worst one that I have heard about. Angry, thank you for the contribution to the Sinner Sandwich as well. Fruity, have you tried the Sinner Sandwich? Olivia, I was wondering if you'd tell me what the A and G stands for. Oh, that. It's apple and gravy. What was that? What is this sound? My husband has always been proud of his special gravy made with applesauce. I needed to stop making this noise. So when we were setting this place up, we used it in the name. Nick's father suggested that we put something we're proud of in the name. Well, that's one burning question answered. I would like to ask you a little about Nick, too. Why is Olivia scary? Right? The worst possible sounds for the blips. Not the apple gravy sonar. Little is okay, like what? Oh, nothing major, just a few things about him and Diane. It's like everyone's had the same bloop though. It's been the same bloop. Not Why is Olivia like this? Hi, Devo. Oh my god. Also, hot sister's here. That you're not hot sister. You are hot sister, right? You like to come here alone? So you're gonna bother me here too? Is prying into people's private lives part of your job? Goal is to catch the killer. And I'll do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. Then go on, pry away. Where is your brother? Just going to ignore you. Where is your brother, Carol? Good coffee. Okay. Now is oh, you know what? Before we go back there, I know it's a different game, it's a different system, but I'm still spooked, especially after the weird bloops, the sonar bloops that Olivia made. We have saved our game. Look at that bucket of donuts. Look at that bucket of flat donuts. I would like all of those flat donuts, please. Nick?
Hey, I'm working here. You can't just stroll into a chef's kitchen.
Yes, I can.
Then perhaps you would give me your permission to enter.
No. Get the hell out of here.
That expression.
Zach, everyone has their own sanctuary. Let's leave him in his.
Right? I would like one bucket of donuts, please. This diner is definitely known for its bad noises. Diner menu. Great. Nick, can I talk to you through here? What's up? Could you tell us what you were doing the night Anna was killed? I was at the bar with Diane. What did you two talk about? Nick? Rembrandt and Turner, is that a problem? No, no problem. If you think Diane did it, you're wrong. No, that's not it. Dougie, thank you for the contribution towards a sinner's sandwich. We sell steak, turkey, jam, and cereal sandwiches, and industrial quantities of donuts. That sounds like the place for me. Oh, so it's me you're after, isn't it? You're wrong again. So much for the FBI, huh? This isn't the case either, Nick. I think there's something both of you are hiding. You can tell when people are hiding something by their reactions. Eye, tongue, and hand movements, sweat, dry lips, neck angles, and such. Neck lumps, maybe? I'm working here. If you aren't ordering anything, get out. Listen. Listen. Emily, what are we doing? Nick and Diane's stories match up. It isn't hard evidence, but it certainly supports her alibi. But the two of them could be in cahoots. I think we need to talk to Olivia again, Zach. Okay. Hey, Olivia.
There's something I'd like to confirm with you, Olivia, if that's okay.
Yes. Well, so long as it doesn't take too long.
First, what were you and Nick doing on the night of the murder?
I was here in the diner. Nick said he was going to the bar for a couple of drinks.
Does he go to the bar often? Leaving you to hold up the fort?
Yes. He says he enjoys the conversation with Diane. I thought they went drinking again together that night.
Man.
Do the three of you ever go drinking together?
Your husband's cheating on you.
Well, you see, I'm really not into art.
Not that
And
hanging
your
out with
husband
anyone
is
of the
well-versed
opposite
in the
sex
arts, then, I
immediately
take it.
means you're cheating. But also...
Oh, yes. Looking at art and
Nick
talking
is
about
sketchy
it
as fuck.
his way of relaxing.
Hi,
People
Devo.
just aren't what they seem. Like a certain someone who was into punk rock 10 years ago.
You are absolutely right, Emily. But you can be an art lover and a liar at the same time. One more thing, Olivia. You just said that you aren't interested in art.
That's right. And
Oh wait, Olivia
So,
was at the art
How come
gallery,
I
wasn't
bumped
she?
into you at the art gallery?
Looking at the
Didn't
trees.
seem like Nick brought you there. You were there alone.
well, I like trees, is the thing. That's why I went there.
Surely you'd be better off in the forest rather than an art gallery then. I think you went to the gallery not to see trees, but to see Diane, right? You don't want to answer? Or perhaps this isn't the right place to ask.
Meet me in the backyard.
Right? Dun,
You can
dun,
get there from the
dun!
I'll wait for you there for an hour after we close up.
I like how it's got the, like, fork and knife icon on it. Beautiful.
They close at 2100. Should we get something to drink and wait?
Let's go! It just feels like we need to pay attention to the time at all times. Forever and always. Look at the hot dog! Sorry. Oh, hot dog.
Agent York, what do we do now?
I want to hear what Olivia has to say. Let's kill time until the diner closes.
Okay, then I'm gonna make a trip back to the department. I'll see you in the backyard later.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry.
See you later then.
It'll satisfy your hunger and dry your tears. A hot dog is everything you could ever
She wants
need.
to tell us something about Nick and Diane. Let's hope it's not just something for the gossip columns.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. So we gotta wait. We gotta wait a little bit. We gotta wait a long bit. Is there anything we can do in the meantime? There's Quint. Sally's at home. Thomas is back at the freaking at the cop shop. Thomas. 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 Gotta find our boy. Gotta say hi to our boy. Boy. Excuse me? Excuse me? The amount of time it took for my brain to process what just happened there was significant. I'm gonna have to go through all of that conversation again, aren't I?
Previously during the investigation.
I'm really glad we saved. Holy shit. It's still better than it was on PC. But holy shit. But I want to see Thomas. But I want to see Thomas. Let me see Thomas. I was gonna say, our stream is no longer quite as hope and duct tapey as it used to be, but this game
There's something I'd
is
like to confirm with you.
all hope and duct tape. Okay, we're gonna skip through all this.
They close it.
We are going to do a thing. Maybe. Eventually. Llama. There's a llama cat on a lettuce blanket, and it makes me very happy. Okay. Not nearly as painful to get back to where we were. I am going to save again. Deluxe tape? Deluxe duct tape. I'm now running on a much higher quality duct tape. It's great. Okay, we have saved. So it was just the once then. I see. I understand. I don't get it at all. Thomas? Thomas? Thomas! Thomas? Silence. Cry all you want, I won't forgive you. Now sit. There you go. Ow. Ouch. Ouch. Don't bite me. No, please. I'm sorry. Zach, the more I think about it, the less I want to understand it. Hey, Thomas? I can't skip through this. We just have to listen to him grumble again. Is Thomas okay? Hey. Is Thomas okay? I am very concerned for our buddy over here. Hey, friendo. Hey, pal. Alright, well... Please, back out. Is Quint still around? Quint is at Anna's house. Why? Why? Genuinely concerned about Thomas, but that's fine. Right? There's a lot happening. I have many questions, and I don't think I'm gonna get answers to any of them. So we're just not gonna... We're gonna worry, but we're not gonna fixate. Quint. There's Sally. Quint. Where is Thomas's 3 squirrels in a trench coat confirmed? I am concerned. It would explain a lot. Is Quint not in here anymore? Did he leave? Do 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 do. Two squirrels, actually. One of them is a Siberian chipmunk. Quint, you still got that. You still got that tinfoil cowboy hat on. Okay, you won't talk to me at all. Why are you here? It is a good hat. That run to the... What are you doing? Making himself a hot dog! He's making himself a hot dog! This is very Sims. He is pushing me. Are you gonna eat that? Typical modern day youngster, I'd say. I'm gonna delete the doors and make everything. Make everything a swimming pool. Sally, are you gonna eat the hot dog? Sally, are you gonna eat the hot dog? Don't mind me, I'm just observing. I'm a little spooked at how quickly y'all are racking up points for the sandwich. Thank you, Luna, for the contribution. I don't know what's going on. But I am fascinated. Wait, did you just make that hot dog for nothing? Thinking, man, just leave me alone. Center sandwich is turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal, all slapped together between two pieces of white bread. York loves it. Okay, I think we're gonna go. There's nothing happening here. That was a bizarre interaction. But this is fine. Look, I feel like turkey and strawberry jam would be good. 'Cause, like, turkey and cranberry sauce, very delicious, right? So, strawberry jam, a little different, but not too far off, I would imagine. And then throw some cereal on there for, you know, for texture. I'm looking in your house. Who lives here? Okay. This has been wild. Thomas's biscuit. Can I approach Pink House? You got Kitty Cat? Kitty Cat finally arrived? Hooray! Yeah, raspberry jam might be like closer as far as tartness is concerned, but I know I can find some not ultra sweet strawberry jams, because I don't like super sweet jams anyway. And I know I've had some strawberry jams that are like pretty good. I think there's a few like local jams that are fantastic. Oh, so yeah, what's Kitty Cat's name? What have you named Kitty Cat? You need to know. Name is Comrade. I'm here for Comrade. You know what? We can, I don't know what... There's not really anything else I can do at the moment. So let's just hang out near the back and smoke a smoke. Get that going. Do do do. Oh. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. It's close enough to cheer meow. Where are our cigarettes? There they are. Use them. It is 3. It is 4. Chairman meow. Chairman meow. It's 5. It's 6. She said after close, right? Perfect. 9 o'clock. It's just shy of 9. It's fine. Better get something to eat soon, Zach. Well, guess what? We got some food in our inventory that we can just chow down on. Like this pie. Would you like to eat this pie? Yeah, the deer head moves. It just kind of does its thing in the background. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Do I not have any coffee? No, I do. Okay. Great. But yeah, deer head? Deer just kind of wiggles back there. Like, is even wiggling now a little bit. But, oh, there it goes. There he goes. Let's open the thing. But no, congrats, Luna, on getting a kitty cat. That's wonderful and lovely. Kaysen. Go chase down Kaysen. Kaysen! Kaysen, wait! FK. In the coffee.
You?
I just like taking walks all over this town. Wherever the wind blows me, I'm there. Hey, but it looked like you had a thing. Oh god. What is happening here? Ah! Ah! Ah!
Hey, Willie, wait! Where are you going?
Ah!
You got me, Kaysen. Willie just ran off with some bones I was carrying as evidence.
Bones?
I can't really go into the details, but I need them.
York, that's not good. Willie loves bones. He's a dog. And carrying bones around with him is like, well, like throwing a blonde in a bikini into a boy's locker room. It's almost like you were asking for trouble. Sorry, but you're just gonna have to forget about your bones. I better run after him now. I'll see you later.
Fucking dog stole my bones!
If I gave up that easily, then I wouldn't be a good federal agent, would I, Zach? We're going to have to search his house, Zach. Let's get back those precious bones.
There is a lot that just happened in that scene. I was cool with Kaysen, not cool with Kaysen now. Also, dog stole my fucking bones. Also, we still have like 11 minutes to kill. Right? Also, extremely uncomfy. We got very up close and personal with that man. And I was not prepared for that. Hello? Just gonna do some creeping. Well, that was a lot. Let's go save, I guess. It's saving time. Oh boy. Oh boy. Can we do a save? Thank you so much. Oh, I did it bad. I don't want to, like, waste another cigarette for 10 minutes. But I'll do it. Freaking do it. Is there anyone here? I can't walk through the bush even though there is space. Probably shouldn't try to get in here. Why the hell not? Please. Please, game. It's almost time. Is there anything cool back here? I know you- I'm not- I'm just trying to look at the door, my guy. It's full of garbage bags. While we're sitting here, can I look for Kayson's house? Side missions. All of these side missions that I haven't found. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. There are so many. Why are there so many side missions for Sigourney? I like that it tells you what chapters they all occur into. Is that not a side quest? I thought it was. I do need to help Pot Lady, though. That is true. Gently green. My pot! My pot! It's getting cold! Okay, but where is this located? Get the bone back from Willie's kennel in the back of Kayson's car. Where is Kayson's car? Also, thank you. I am the sneeziest. Always. So sneezy. Like, if Kayson's car is nearby, then I'm just gonna do it now. But I don't think it is. Yes, I don't see a marker. So... what does that mean for us? Because this is just the bad tunnel one, isn't it? Guess we'll just have to keep an eye on where Kayson is at any given time and where we are in relation to that. It's true. It's not. Look, I didn't choose the sneeze life. Sneeze life chose me. It ain't easy being sneezy. We got 6 minutes. How's it going? How's everyone doing? What if I just twirl around for a little bit? Strut my stuff back here. Show off this good pink suit we got. Yeah. Strike a pose. Yeah. That beard is coming in. Look at the beard. Look at the beard. We've got 4 minutes. My god. Time goes so slow when you're waiting for it to be a specific time, and yet so fast when you're just wandering around. 3 minutes. Gotta get 3 minutes. Waiting for those 3 minutes to pass. Gotta chill for 2 more minutes. It's far too long, but it's 2 more minutes. No longer 3, but 2 more minutes. We're zoomy. We're so zoomy. Look at your go. 1 more Good job, kitty! Oh, so we're here. Let's go! Hi, Devo.
Well then, Olivia, talk to me.
Yes.
You wanna come here?
In the
Come on,
beginning,
sweet boy.
Nick only went to the gallery during the day. But he went so often, at some point he became friendly with Diane.
It's the man!
They started going out drinking together.
The boy
and now
himself!
he doesn't come home until early morning. He always says that
He's
they
down?
were only drinking when I ask. He blames me for not being able to talk about Turner and Rembrandt. Which of course I can't, can I? So what can I say?
It's Devo. It's the
Finally,
little
I
boy.
couldn't take it anymore. So I followed him. He did go to the bar, to start with. Diane was there too. But the real problem is where they go to next, right? So I waited outside the bar to see where they might go. And they eventually left the bar and headed for the art gallery. But it was already early morning, but it was still dark. Just before going inside,
Did they get funky?
Diane turned around. It should have been too dark to see me, but I swear, her eyes looked right at me.
That woman knows what she's doing.
Seemed to flash for a moment. I was so rattled that I left and went home. The next day, Anna was found dead. I didn't know what to do.
That response, though.
I went to the gallery to talk with Diane about it, to confront her. Once I was there, I couldn't find the courage to go through with it. Then I saw you there, and I just felt I had to go home. Nick has been seeing Diane every night recently. He just left for tonight, too. I really don't know what to do.
I mean, bring it up. Tell him that you're uncomfy with it. Figure
York,
something out.
we ought to take Nick in for questioning.
No, not yet. This alone isn't enough.
Emily, answer me.
This is Emily. Agent York is with me, too.
I've just received word from Thomas at the sheriff's department. Something has happened at Becky's house. He was called in by Quint, but he wasn't making any sense. We have no further details.
Quint wasn't making any sense, or Thomas wasn't making any sense?
Can you go back him up?
Because, Thomas was
Yes, sir.
not making any sense earlier.
One other thing. It sounded like he said Raincoat Killer.
Becky with the
This
good
may
hair.
well be related to the murder case. Take all due precautions.
Kitten.
No! It couldn't be! Nick!
Who said it was Nick?
Please, no!
Ma'am, it's fine. Get inside.
Olivia, calm down.
Where is my poncho? Why hasn't it not
Take care of
materialized?
Olivia. I'm heading over to Becky's.
She lives in the big house over by the lake. Hurry!
Just hope this isn't anything serious. Damn it, Zach. We may have screwed up during the investigation.
We've done it! Let's go. Saved! Devo, you're a little heavy. Could you not be in my lap, maybe? That look, though!
You better hurry, Zach. I have a bad feeling about this. Becky's house is by the lake.
Great! I have unlimited health and gas. We can just drive for forever. Wonderful. Wiggly car. Wiggle car. Devo, are you getting down? Thank you, buddy. This is a dead end, isn't it? Oh, shit. I don't think there's really a time limit here. But also... No, car. Do not flip over on me. We gotta go. There we go. Get me out of the little neighborhood and get me towards Becky's house. Nope, nope, nope. It's fine, everything's fine. This car is indestructible. Perfect and beautiful, we love it. Ah! I don't know why we passed through that, but you know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna argue with it. It's gonna be great. We got a long ways to drive, so it's gonna be great. I've talked about it a little bit, but I am genuinely excited that we're like getting into bits of the game that I've not experienced yet. Good to know that we are still having some technical issues with it. I don't feel like it would be a proper Deadly Premonition experience if there wasn't any. But, you know, it still runs, so that's exciting and good and wonderful. And I do like the fact that it is as open as it is, and that as obnoxious as it is to kind of like have to wait for time to pass for us to do certain quests or whatever, it's kind of fun. Oh god. Especially since so many of them are like, you have to do it between this time and this time. Becky! So there is like, I don't know, I feel like there is some pressure to get it done, even though you don't necessarily have to do it that specific day or whatever.
Becky.
Oh, is Becky dead?
That's all he would say since I got here.
Is Becky with the good hair dead?
Wait. Tell me, what did you see in there? Did you see the raincoat killer? Thomas, did you see
Concern
Nick
for
here?
hair has increased.
No. When I got here, he was already like this.
Nice to know that Thomas is, back to making sense.
Call George and tell him to get over.
Right, yeah, like, it doesn't necessarily, like, you can still be like, oh, well, I can, like, wait 4 days
Once
to
they
do
both
this
get
quest,
here,
I just have to do it at the
follow
specific
George's
time, but it does,
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
there is, like, an
But Agent
impression
York,
of a
isn't it
sense of
dangerous
urgency with
going
it, where
alone?
it's like,
don't worry.
here, you still have some time to go do some side quests if you want, but, like, at this time, you gotta do this.
Zach, let me smoke one first.
I feel more pressure, like, get things done
I need to clear my head so
in
I
a
can take
timely
everything
fashion that way. I don't know, I like it. You can still just go around and dick around as long as you'd like. But it does kind of, like, help enforce the whole, what the shit? That's Simo!
Zach, they're here too. I had a nasty
Just
feeling about this.
annoyed.
Let's hope it's not a big welcoming party.
Right, this is fine. Normal. And fine. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. god. No, no, no! Okay, well that was a thing. There's a health kit in here. Please. I am still extremely bad at QuickTime events, as we can tell. I will never ever get used to Nintendo controls. Ever. As much as I would love to, no matter how hard I try, it is not going to happen. Is this hair? This music, though.
Zach, that's a strange coincidence. Look. Red velvet. Just like the place where Anna was murdered.
Velvet. I see. Okay, are we just gonna stare at it? In a profile. Okay. It's been a minute since we've done one of these. Mams is dying. Rip, Becky. What does this tell you, York?
Too much noise. They're still missing a vital piece of the puzzle.
Understood. Let's find them then. Do you want to take a nap? Is it nap time? It is time to save. Yes. Okay, what do we got? A locked door. Great.
Yes.
Oop.
Nice shot. Amazing.
Oop. Everything's gonna be locked here, isn't it? Can't even look at that. Not spooky music box. Who's crying? Can I? Good to know. We can break the mannequins. Probably can hide here, but we better stay still, Zach. Not the hiding spots. Ouch!
Nice shot.
These sounds, though. Why is your house on fire, Becky?
Great.
Ah! Why am I on fire? Please. Okay. What? This is normal and fine. We're not even worried about it.
Yes.
Checking out what's going on over here? Just be done. All done. Time to take a nap. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh.
Bullseye. Great. Bullseye. Great.
Okay. No, stop.
Yes. Yes. Nice shot.
Yes, yes, yes. Nice shot. Good job.
Amazing.
Yes.
Bullseye.
Can we stop showing up? Are you just going to keep respawning? Is that what's happening here?
Bullseye.
100% that's what's happening here.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, get away from me!
Nice shot.
I just want to get through! Please. There's a chocolate chip cookie in there.
Bullseye. Great.
Okay. What I'm hearing is that all of these enemies will continue to respawn eternally. So I should just move on. Not worry about anything. What I'm hearing is definitely a lot of whale noise, which is fine.
Bullseye. Great. Amazing.
Not the whale creatures.
Yes. Amazing. Great.
Amazing. Great. I want this. Put it in the toolbox, I guess. I just want to know where I'm supposed to go. I want to figure out what's happening. Put that in the toolbox. Save that for later. Oh, it's another spot of infinite lollipops. Understood. How are we on rest and food? We're doing good. Fantastic. I keep forgetting that I can put stuff in the toolbox because I almost never use it. But I might as well start doing that, right? Might as well. Oh look, we're back here. Great. What does it mean?
Huh?
Huh? It's a mirror, York. Do they have mirrors where you're from? Oh. Oh, it's the... Alright, I understand. But not that smirk. Get me out of here. We're not doing the profiling yet. No, get me out. Let's go. Not allowed to go back. Understood. I do like that there are couches blocking our way from the entrance. And instead of just pushing them aside, we like go through everything first. There goes our steel pipe. This is fine. Give me the stabilizer. Not the bad vines. Hi, Panda! We're doing good! Doing some wacky wild nonsense and deadly premonition. It's very fun. I'm doing alright. It's a little chilly here. Hence why I'm all bundled up, but we're doing pretty alright. How are you doing, Panda? How's it going? Happy New Year. No such thing as bad vines. Disagree. There's some bad ones out there. Very few. Yeah, we're playing a cursed game. We're in a cursed blanket. 10 out of 10 situation to find yourself in. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Stop! You'll make me drop my croissant. But also, Gib croissant would like to have the croissant. Gib. But yeah, it's great to see you, Panda. Glad you're doing well. What other things are happening in here? Wait. Why are we back here? Aww. Well, come hang out. Come on in. Hang out. Chat with us. I'm just yelling about the spooky, scary game. It's not spooky, scary. Don't sleep on the crow's sofa. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. Is the center sandwich going to be made on a croissant bun? Could. It looked like it was just white bread, you know? But also, I'd consider throwing it on a croissant. Hello? I want all of that. Give me all of that. How do I get that? I want all that, Agent Honor. Right? Croissant bum. Give us the croissant butt. I'd eat the fuck out of that butt. Croissant. Oh no. I gotta hide. Ah! I don't remember which button it is to hold my breath. I can't leave now. 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 How about now? I can't leave now. Hey, Devo, that is not yours. Now I've got Devo trying to eat Lamia's food. Can we leave now? Can't leave now. All these dang cats want to eat Lamia's dang food. And they weren't allowed to before, but they're especially not allowed to now.
Where are you hiding?
I'm in the closet. Told myself I'd never go back here, but here we are. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Come on, buddy. How good of food is it? It's the dollar store. How good a killer can it be? It's the Dollar Town. Travis is 100% planning on stealing Lamia's food. I can't trust anyone anymore. Everyone's trying to steal Lamia's food. So angry. Hey, basically where I am. Bunno! Bunno! Not your food, Bunno! Alright, let's get out. It's like, I mean, it was annoying when the other cats would try to eat Lamia's food before, right?
Zach, this is a waste of time.
But now it's like particularly annoying because this stuff is so expensive. But she needs it. Lamia can't have the cottage cheese. It's gonna make her ill. She needs her food for her terrible. Get away from me! Stop! Get your hand out of my mouth! I know that's why they want it. I mean, she can have a man in a hole. But she can't eat it. Pipes broke. Nah, it's her piss baby food. We love Lamia, but she needs to figure out the bladder issues. Hey, 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 hey! Oh my god. We need to do some healing items.
Nice shot. Bullseye.
Okay. Look here, game. Broccoli! Right, do not, please, no fisting. I am not here for this. Do not consent. I didn't mean to put that in my toolbox. It's true. Health before man and hole. Hold on. We gotta health up. We're doing okay on both, so we lose one of each to get us back to practically full. What the hell was that sound? Agent Honor? Oh no. Ah! Oh! No, not one of these. Please, 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 please. I don't wanna do this anymore. He is gonna get me. Please! Climb down, York! Oh. Oh no. That jump! Still not nearly as bad as the mill was. The lumber mill was miserable. That whole section was just way too long. It's the only way you're gonna jump from now. Be careful. Make sure you you tuck up properly when you hit the ground so you don't hurt yourself. But you know what? I support you in this decision. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna look so cool. Not a very bad one at the end. I mean, I figured we were gonna have to, like, run some more at some point. I'm not entirely shocked, but also, can we not? Hey, a t-shirt with blood on it.
Huh?
Huh? A bloody camisole. That's all of the evidence. Gotta put together the evidence. The a spiky bracelet, though. Why is the raincoat killer like this? Oh no. Is this it? Is this the bad one? No, that's a man with a golf club. Okay, that's fine. I can manage that. Okay, we see. He's coming out of the door very, very quiet, or not quietly, slowly. Oh, at the end of the game.
Amazing.
That definitely does not shock me.
Amazing.
I understand. Hey, you're not supposed to do that. Hey, 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 hey! It's actually like a 20-minute run. Presumably any others are fine. It's fine. Oh, regular house.
It's bad. Very bad, Zach. The raincoat killer gave Becky a visit. Hold on.
Holding. Oh, your eye! York! Also, that's a lot of strawberry jam.
Is it rain? It's the shower. Zach, the bathroom, quick.
That is a lot of blood. Oh my god. Also, give me your cigarettes. Someone was hella jamming out. It's me when I'm listening to metal music at home. We're gonna save. I know that he wants us to quickly go to the bathroom. However, I'm gonna save. Wait, or I'm gonna do this. There we go. I was facing the wrong way. Yes, I want to save. But hey, there's a safe there. So that's exciting. Also, what time is it? We've still got like 45 minutes. Nice. We have gotten so much done today. I am very pleased with this. It's booby-trapped! Don't touch it. The music stings, though. Legend worm. That definitely just touched our shoulder. This is fine.
I can't believe you've done this.
Thank you, Bono.
A body has been discovered.
Oh shit!
Zach, she's still alive.
How?
Who was it, Becky?
She doesn't have a tongue. She can't tell us.
What happened here?
George, stay back. She's trying to speak.
We don't have time. She's dying. Thomas, cut that wire. No! We must get her to the hospital immediately.
It's gonna kill her. It's gonna kill her. He's gonna cut the wire and it's gonna kill her.
What are you doing? Get out of the way. I'll do it.
No, don't.
Not
George,
Taylor Swift.
Stop.
Not entirely sure how that works, but you know what? I don't know why that one's not working, but when will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? I started out too high. I also hate it when my scarf shoots out from within me. This is why that one boy is stinky. Could be. Definitely could be. Right, the sparkle tears. High five.
Huh?
Luna and I same brain, but also, what is this? She gets to be with her friend now. Def give a kit. Oh my god. Not Celine Dion. Just smack the hands away. So much happened in the last 90 seconds.
You got us good this time, Zach.
So much just happened, and I loved every second of it. Why does she look as weird as she... Oh, because there's a curtain between us? Okay. All this breaking the book. What the hell? Even Becky's been killed. Oh my god. Thomas threw up in there earlier. We don't want to look inside, do we, Zach? We already did! Quite a serious character, though. He likes to show off and is too eager to compete, which may be what it takes. New snow boots! It is an art piece now. When you gotta go, you gotta go. You never know. Thomas might puke bullets. Okay, he was acting a little funny earlier, and the way that he was responding kind of sounded like he had a case of the bullets. Just saying. She must have been terrified. A horrendous ordeal. We were too late to save her. It's fine. Alright. Right, Becky puked a key, so... anything's possible. Becky!
Oh.
That noise, though.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. This is the rest of the stream now. We're just gonna keep listening to Thomas go, oh. Over and over and over again. Just 35 minutes of Thomas going, oh. Oh my god. What? Whoa. What? Whoa. It could be a sound alert.
I'm so sorry. I was a fool to fall for a man like him. I don't have the words to apologize to Anna.
Oh boy. Okay.
I left her there. She was suffering so much, and I just ran away. I know he wanted to kill me too, but I'm not going to let him get away with this. I followed him after he was finished. He carried Anna into the woods. Anna was holding on to that precious locket of his. He couldn't remove it from her hand, even though she was dead. But she let go of it for me, though. It was like she gave it to me. So I brought it home. I might be able to bring Anna's killer down with it. I want you to see it.
Or you could,
I know even he
tell me
wouldn't
who it
dare to harm
is.
you. He'll catch me, though, if I go into town. I'm trapped in my house. So I've asked Isaac and Isaiah to deliver it. They totally believe that Anna became a goddess. I believe so.
What is that buff picture in the background? What the fuck is that?
So beautiful. As though she might
Monsters.
smile back at
Monsters
me.
put vanities in front of windows.
I have something else to confess to you.
You want those
I
shadows
borrowed a pair
cast
of your
across
shoes
your
without asking and broke the heel on one of them.
across your face,
I'll send
right?
them along with the locket. I'm sure the shoe can be fixed.
Wowie.
So Becky is Miss Stiletto Heel, and she gave the locket to the twins. Must be the special secret Lily told us about, Zach. We better go and see her first thing tomorrow. Emily, who might this sister be that Becky was referring to here?
That would be Diane. Didn't you know Diane and Becca were sisters?
I should have known.
It's the prog rock guitar intro. It's the very good stuff. Can we not all be family here, though? Listen. My goodness. Are we just pointing at the dog? Hey, Kaysen, your dog stole my fucking bones. Aggressively whistles. That our fly family really feels like Zach is an imaginary person. I guess, like, from the get-go, I kind of assumed Zach was us, the audience. Like, on a more real, more serious conversation. I assumed that Zach was us. And that it's supposed to be some weird bridge between the narrative that is happening and what's going on. And, like, how we're interacting with it. Are we Zacking it? I didn't actually want to do that.
Oh, I can't believe it, man.
Keith,
Now that's
my dude, you're not
heavy.
aggressively
Me
snapping.
neither.
Just
When did Becky stop coming to work?
I think it was like from the day Anna was killed, man. Yeah, that's right. She was
sad to
totally
snap.
depressed about something.
Quint called for her to let us know she wasn't
Sad.
coming in for work. She must have been totally in shock, the poor thing.
I just need him to constantly
So you took
snap.
the twins along to cheer her up.
That's right, hun. If only I knew it would be like this, I'd have spent more time talking to her.
You told me about a special secret between your children and Becky.
Yes, of course. What about it?
It seems Becky handed them an item before she was killed. Any idea what that might be?
Now that you mention it, they had a box about this size, which they said was very important.
That's it.
Not the heavy mood weighing
I'd
down
like to talk
the
to them about this in person.
smile.
Where are the boys now?
Not the heavy mood weighing down the
They
snapping
met,
hand.
actually, with Mr. Kaysen. They mentioned going to the community center today, hon. There is plenty of space to run around over there.
Kaysen? Do you know him well?
Oh yeah, he's a good guy. He always
There
brings
he
us gifts from his
goes.
road trips.
There he goes.
So we let him take them out every once in a while. You know, for a little quality time with the missus.
He got
Okay,
better.
I understand, but the situation calls for urgency. I'll go and look for them myself, and if they come home without running into me, could you let us know?
Sure, of course. I'll contact the department.
I mean, you can't be sad when that song plays. Real talk. It's just not possible. You can't be sad. Weather doll. Emily.
Isaac and Isaiah aren't here. They're apparently out with Kaysen. Let's go look for them.
With Kaysen? Sounds like a long story. Any ideas where to start looking?
Lily told me where they went. No problem.
Community center time. Time for the community center. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. See you playing Breath of the Wild over there, Allie. I guess we can try to get to the community center. And then see where we are.
And today, we're stuck here having to search for lost
No
children.
judgments.
They're not lost. We're the ones who are lost.
And so we are, Emily.
It's a dang good game.
Zach, we may as well have
I'm
fun
glad you're
if we're getting
enjoying it.
lost.
You sure know how to take your time at a time like this.
That smile, though. We need some gas. It's gassing time. Which is great, because gas station's just right over here. I also love York's stupid face. I'm just saying, my god, that smile. We're not gonna talk just yet. Oh no. Ma'am!
Uh-huh.
Fill her up. Please don't do that. Yes, I'm sure. I'm gonna finish. We're just done. Let me leave. I don't need to see her walk in and out of the building every single time. She's 100% going to be next, and I don't know that I hate that. Just saying. Yeah, so the fact that there's only the one gas station in the entire town is a bit of a problem when you can't get from the edge of town to... I shouldn't have turned here.
I can't believe 2 people have been murdered in our town.
I can.
And now 2 young children are at the center of it all. I just can't come to grips with it yet.
Crime will happen wherever there are people. And that's why we have our jobs.
Might be easier for you because you don't live here. These were people that I knew.
She starts
and the
at
murderer
3 in
might
the
be
morning
someone who
to get
lives
there by
here in
7.
this town. It's really depressing.
I know. But someone has to bring this murder to justice.
You're right, I know. But, oh, Agent York, sometimes I just think I'm not really cut out to be a cop.
Not true.
You shouldn't be, Emily. Cops are
You
shit.
have the potential to be a superb law enforcer. You can be emotional at times, but
Why are the
you
kids
also
connected? The
possess
kids
what's most
found on
important.
his body.
What do you mean?
Initially,
A sense of
they
justice.
also have an item
must
that
admit,
Becky
I'm
gave
surprised
them.
To hear such a, how should I say this? Such an obvious answer. I thought you'd say
That
something else.
will potentially
Obviously
help
not. I
us,
joined the FBI in
like,
order to
figure
do
out who
what's
the killer
right.
is.
And that's what's important.
I understand.
So I
but
wouldn't necessarily say the
still,
children
you
are the
seem-
center of everything, but they're definitely
I'm sorry. I need some time
involved.
Whatever do you want to think about?
to think. Justice. I want to think about justice.
Zach, she's quite the philosopher, isn't she? Then again, death makes everyone a philosopher.
Definitely in the donut hole.
According to Lily, Isaac and Isaiah should be here.
Donut hole children.
Let's go and find them.
My God, they're right there. We have found them. Also, Kaysen, where's your truck? Hey, Kaysen, where's your truck?
Hello again, Isaac and Isaiah. I hear you're teaching Willie to do tricks. What's your secret?
It's easy. Really simple. If he does it right, we give him a treat. Cookie if he does it right.
I see. Very clever.
Better not have any chocolate in it.
So, tell me, you two. Could you perhaps tell me your special secret, Becky?
No, we can't. It won't be a secret if we tell. I'm not telling. We promise.
Their
Becky.
mouths, though.
That's a problem. Because I also made a promise to Becky. I promised to catch the bad man. But I can't keep my promise if I don't know what the secret is. Do you see?
Yes, I see. I understand. Oh, yes, quite indeed. Just the heavy breathing of the dog.
Give Diane a box. It wasn't that heavy.
We took it to the art gallery and gave it to Diane.
Is that all Becky gave you?
Just when we were leaving to take the box to Diane, Becky called us back. She handed us something. It was small and round. She told us to keep it safe in our pocket and give it to Diane.
Did you do that? Why, York, what are you doing?
And then you met Carol on your way?
Yep. I took the round thing out of my pocket and we looked at it.
And then she talked to us.
We told her that we were on an errand for Becky. She said she'd do it for us.
But we told her no, because Becky asked us, not her. We promised Becky to do it ourselves.
The pink suit, though, is very good.
So Becky did entrust the locket to them. And now Carol has it. Right, Kaysen?
Huh?
You were in the room when Carol took the locket back from Diane. I saw you with Diane in the art gallery that day.
Well, yeah, I was there in the room, but I was only chatting with Diane. Then Carol burst in, all angry looking. While Carol and Diane had their talk, I just sat there like a frog. Yeah, so Carol took the locket from Diane, but that
what
has
are these
nothing to
noises
do
that
with
I'm
me,
hearing in the background?
Right? Yes, I believe so. But from this instant, you are now a key witness in this case. I'm afraid you can't leave town until you hear from me.
What? Can you do that? This is all starting to sound a little like Alice in Wonderland.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Which
sir.
makes you Humpty Dumpty.
Huh?
Isaac and Isaiah, thank you.
Are these noises coming from the dog?
Thanks to you two.
How is Becky?
Is she getting better?
She'll come and help out at our store again, won't she?
Like the
She'll come and play with us again, won't she?
No, she's dead.
About Becky.
That's right. Becky is almost totally better
Emily,
now.
you're doing it bad.
But I don't think she'll be able to come and see you. I was told by Becky to keep this a secret. But she's actually a goddess of the forest, just like Anna. I think she's gonna be in the forest with Anna for a while.
I like how we're just running
we'll
away.
Keep this a secret then too.
Wow, that's why Anna and Becky are such
Allie
good
over
friends.
here just like, read all of Jasper Fjord.
Okay, Willie.
Ford, not Fjord.
You're happy
What the hell?
too, aren't you?
Zach, I hope Emily doesn't end up as a forest goddess too.
Beautiful, very beautiful, very good. Words are hard all of a sudden. This is fine. Also, can these people just like... Look, I get that death is
Okay
difficult.
then, Zach.
But also,
Let's go
children
over what we found out recently about the
are
case.
very good at understanding it, even in simple
First,
terms.
Diane,
Don't
the owner of the art
lie to
gallery.
these kids about
She was out
people being
drinking
dead.
with Nick Cormack in a bar on the night Anna died.
Oh my god.
Nick confirmed this, and so she has an alibi. But then we have what Nick's wife Olivia told us.
According to Olivia, Nick and Diane not only went to the bar, but also went somewhere else that night. Do you remember where that was, Zach?
Cat. They went to the art gallery.
That's right, the art gallery. Before entering the gallery, Diane looked back towards Olivia, almost as though she saw Olivia in the dark. Nick's behavior has also become more suspicious by the day. If Olivia is correct, then he is heavily involved in this case. But we have no conclusive evidence of that at the moment. The only thing we can say for sure is that Nick's whereabouts are unknown at the time of Becky's murder. He has no alibi for the crime, but that fact alone means nothing. So who was it that called Thomas to report trouble at Becky's place?
It was Quint. Quint.
That's right. It was Quint. Becky's
I
boyfriend.
do kind of like these sections. It helps
He went
sort
to
of
her
bring
house to
everything
solve
back
tragedy.
together. It's very easy to get
Now about
distracted and
Becky's
not know
murder.
what's going on.
embarrassed and mortified. Killer struck again while we were on the case. We found her bitten off tongue, a massive amount of red seeds that poured out of the blood, and an inverted peace symbol like the one seen at the site of Anna's murder. From the similarities, one can deduce that Anna's killer killed Becky. We also found one other important piece of evidence in Becky's room. Can you remember what that was, Zach?
No. Oh, be the sketchbook?
That's right. We found a sketchbook in Becky's room. She had apparently written a letter to her sister Diane. It revealed that Becky took a locket from Anna's body at the crime scene. She also admitted to borrowing a pair of Diane's stiletto heel shoes. So Miss Stiletto Heels was Becky. There was something else at the end of the letter. It said that she handed the locket and stiletto heel shoes to someone. Do you remember who, Zach?
The twins!
That's right, Zach. And from what Isaac and Isaiah told us, Carol offered to take the items to Diane, but the twins refused. They gave them to Diane themselves, as they had promised. For some reason, Carol wanted the locket. She ended up storming into the gallery to take it from Diane. And when Carol took the locket from Diane, Kaysen just happened to be there. Is Kaysen involved in this? Or was he just there by coincidence? I wonder what's so special about the locket, too. Why did Carol want it so badly? The questions are mounting. Come to think of it, Quint, the first witness, has no alibi for Becky's death. We checked the phone records, and his call definitely came from her house. Is it possible he attacked Becky and then called us from the scene?
He would have had blood on him.
But everyone is suspicious one way or another.
Like...
What should we do next, Zach?
That's a good question.
Who's the most suspicious?
I mean... Diane?
That's right. Becky's sister and Carol's enemy, linked to both Nick and Kaysen, the elegant owner of the art gallery. Zach, that's our next move. We'll start with Diane.
Great.
So, you want to find out everything there is to know about Diane?
That's right. There's just too many things.
Everything
that we
is
don't know.
so pink now.
First, we need more intel about the relationship between Nick and Diane.
How?
It's very
Nick
pink
and Diane
today.
meet every night at the bar. Let's use that.
So
George, we'll need
extremely,
you to stake out the
incredibly
gallery.
pink.
What do you mean?
Wait in the parking lot of the art gallery and tail Diane when she leaves. If she goes anywhere other than the bar, you let me know. Emily, you take the diner. Wait for Nick and tail him to the bar too. As with George, if he goes anywhere else, then you
Yeah,
let me
because
know.
that's how the Aurora Borealis
Okay.
works. Just makes everything
Thomas.
really pink.
You keep a watch on them inside the bar.
Yes, I will.
Sweet baby Thomas.
I'll be waiting in the parking lot of the bar. Once Nick and Diane are together, I will follow them wherever they go. What time do they usually show up, Thomas?
Around the same time. Usually between 22 and 2300.
Woof.
Then at that time we do it, boys and girls.
We've done it. We will probably call it here. It's a good time to stop. We've got 15 minutes until the end of the stream, but I don't necessarily know that we can like really get anything done in that amount of time, and I don't want to start something huge. Just have to wait until this coming weekend. So, we'll find a save spot. And then, find someone to raid.
Zach, we need to be at Carol's bar at 2200. Looks like we have some time to kill.
We can go to the diner and see how Nick and Olivia are doing.
Oh, it started us, like, pretty close to time, which is nice. We will still head to the diner, save... there? No, because this is the closest save spot to the diner. Alright. Well, we'll pick back up with the diner next Saturday. Yay. Alright. Don't yell at me, computer. We have saved. Everything is great. And, yeah. We got a lot done, which is really exciting. I was not expecting to, make that much progress in a single go, but here we are. We've done it good. Thank you all, as always, for being here and being wonderful and fantastic and lovely and just great. It's wonderful to be back to, like, a regular streaming schedule again. I missed just doing our usual nonsense. Shall we do a raid on a friend? We got a few people on. I kind of want to raid Dougie Views Plays. But, it looks like he just went live not too terribly long ago, doing some just chatting. Otherwise, I've got Cauliflumps on, doing some XCOM 2, Nimbly is doing some Breath of the Wild, and Mrs. Kiwi is doing some Dead by Daylight. Or, if anyone has any recommendations, we can always check out someone new. I'm here for whatever y'all are feeling. I'm gonna turn this on while we try and figure out what we're doing. But yeah, if nobody has any recommendations or suggestions or strong opinions about anyone, we'll go hang out with Dougie. Why is it not working? Okay, I have to look into a couple of these sound alerts. Douglas. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. We'll go ahead and start a Dougie raid. Like I said, as always, thank y'all for being here and hanging out and being just wonderful, lovely, wonderful human beings. I'm just gonna keep saying wonderful because I can't think of any other adjectives to describe you aside from just Dougie. Just Dougie. Just Dougie. I have forgotten. I don't know what any of my commands are anymore. But anyway, like I said, I love y'all. We will see you later. Go send the love over to Dougie. We'll see you next time. I'll be back tomorrow with some Witchwood and Alan Wake. We should be finishing Alan Wake this week. No more smelly man ass. Oh. Love y'all. Take care. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.